here to call it out. Real talk, raw truth, and plenty of spice. Welcome to She Who Thrives.
We're your hosts, Caitlin,
Mindy,
and Harrison.
So we spent October listening to powerful stories of survival, resilience, and hope. And they gave us a little bit of a reality check, to be honest. When you hear what some people have gone through, it really makes you think about how short life is and how much we take for granted. So today we're getting personal. We're talking about the things that we want to cherish more, the stuff we want to stop wasting time on, how hard seasons change our perspective, and why taking care of ourselves matter more now than ever.
And we don't want this to be a sad episode. It's a soul shifting one. It's about loving harder, laughing louder, checking in on people, and booking that doctor's appointment. Before we dive in deep, if you had to pick one word to describe this month and how it made you feel, what would it be?
Reflective. Is that a word?
Yeah. That was a good one.
That was a really good one, and you said it on the spot.
I'm going to say grateful. Moment this month that you guys can think of where you thought, wow, life is fragile. I want to start this one. I know I asked the question, but after we posted this episode, I got a message from somebody on social media, and it just said, thank you so much for doing these episodes in December. They told me about their 4-year-old niece that has October. Yeah. What did I say?
December.
Oh my gosh. Let me start that over. Nah.
No.
I'm not. I'm a couple months ahead. I'm Christmas shopping. Hello. I'm thinking about December. Anyway, she just said her 4-year-old niece has a really bad aggressive cancer. And she said some of the things that Tammy had said, how it just was polishing her, and, you know, a few phrases that Tammy had said in her thing. And actually I sent it to Tammy, and Tammy reached out. And anyway, it just really makes you think, like, life really is so freaking fragile.
Yeah.
And I thank God that's not my grandchild, 4-year-old. And that all of, even though we have our own set of health issues in our family, I wouldn't trade what I have for dealing with a cancer.
Yeah.
You hear the stories, and even going through it with Michelle, her being your aunt, my sister, watching that firsthand. She didn't go through the same things that Tammy went through. Mm-hmm. And Tammy didn't go through the same things that this little girl went through. This little girl has already had her whole deltoid removed. It's now spread to her arm and lungs, I believe she said. But I just
kids should not
can't
get
imagine.
Sick.
No, they shouldn't. And the U.S. needs to do a better job. Immunizations, food that we eat. We're trying to somehow kill everyone.
This one isn't cancer related, but I feel like almost every other day you get on any social media and it's like those e-bike or those e-scooters, someone's been hit by a car, someone's been killed. And it's all of these young, not even really teenagers. They're like 12, 13, 14, and half of them are dying. And it's so sickening, and it's so sad to see, like, it really is so fragile. And every single time your kids go out the door you never know, that if that could be the last time you see them, your husband, it doesn't matter who that person is. But even when you're like annoyed with each other, to always say goodbye, I love you, and, give each other a kiss, whatever it may be, because seriously, life is so fragile and you just never know.
Yeah.
This is on with that, but I think our family, we even have people comment on how our family is so lovey, because we hang up with anyone in the family and it's like, bye, I love you. Every time I leave the house or Adam leaves the house, we kiss each other and tell each other we love each other. When we come home, we kiss each other and tell each other we love each other. When we go to bed at night, same thing, and That does not happen with a lot
So,
of people.
that's what I've always been used to. That's how it was growing up our whole lives, even as adults. That's how it's always been with my kids. And Luis and I were talking about it because he was like, at first, just with you, it was so weird. And then also to see how your family is, that was also an adjustment because he's like, we grew up in a
Doesn't
house
come from that.
where we never heard that,
Yeah.
you know? Which is so crazy to me. But even Nixon, like this morning, we were out waiting for the bus and the bus never came. So then I took him to school. Brecklin had to go early. And every time he's like, I love you. Okay, bye. I love you. Love you. Love you. Like 7 different times. Okay, I love you.
Cute.
Bye.
He's so
I
sweet.
know. Life really is so fragile. I think most people who know us know, about Brecklin's medical issues. And she now has epilepsy as well. And what was it, last week, the week before? Everything was totally normal. Ava was in the tub. Luis got her out, got her dressed. She came to the kitchen and she wanted to show me like a bruise that she had on her leg. And all of a sudden she started saying, oh, I'm going to throw up. But she kind of started like freaking out and acting funny. And so Luis was trying to get her to go to the toilet. And sometimes, with kids, they'll kind of like drop their legs and be like, oh, pick me up. I don't want to walk. I mean, she does that all the time. And that's what she had done. So he just thought she was playing. And, her legs went limp and then the rest of her followed. And that was so scary. I was like, oh my gosh, not again.
Here we go again.
I can't do this. Yeah, with another kid. It was really scary. So we rushed her to the ER. Even the kids are traumatized. Brecklin ran out of the house with no shoes, but I mean, she was fine. They said it was just a vasovagal reaction. She's perfectly fine. But stuff like that really just makes you stop and think. Like we said, life is so fragile. I feel like I'm just taking in every moment, just taking like mental pictures of the small stuff.
Well, and when you do lose somebody that's close to you, I mean, I would hate for my husband to leave, or one of you, because even Yahoo that's here
I haven't
way
been coming
too
as
much.
I haven't been coming as much.
That's
I've been
because I'm
doing
busy.
these
Even this
things.
morning, you're like, "What are you doing today?" I knew you were bored.
Yeah, but I knew you had stuff to do because you told me. I was just asking you what you had to do
Just
today.
be nice.
But when she leaves, I'm like, what if something happens on the way to her home with those babies? Like, I never want to regret any of my family. Maybe I didn't say it. I never want to have that regret of not telling you guys I love you when you leave, because it may be the last time. Or when we talk, you don't know. And I think we're so, Grandpa Mike, his dad never told him he loved him until he got old.
Really?
And so that was something growing up that it didn't matter how old I was. I mean, engaged to be married and coming home at whatever time, he would come in the room, give you a kiss on your head, and say, I love you. And I remember back then being like, I know this,
Yeah.
I know this. Why I'm tired. Like, why can't he just, I know. But he always, made
Well, and
sure.
every time he comes in, he always gives everybody a kiss and
Right.
a hug. And every time he leaves, he does the same thing.
But Saturday we had to go to Vegas to pick up the moose meat. Adam got a moose when he was in Alaska. So they cut it up and did all the stuff in Alaska, and then they freight fly it from Alaska to Vegas. So we had to drive down to Vegas and pick that up. And on the way home, his dad called, Adam's dad, and told us that his Adam's great aunt had passed away. And so we called his grandma, who it's her sister. And, Adam always says, I love you when he hangs up, but she never says, I love you. And she said it. She said, I love you both.
Oh.
And he like teared up. He put his sunglasses on. I'm like, I already saw it, and I can see the side. Hello, I can see the side of your eye. He's like, it's the sun. I'm like, wow, it's cloudy, bro. There's no sun out. But yeah, he's like, babe, I have never heard her say that. And that like broke my heart because that is so sad to me.
Mhm.
And I know people probably think we're freaking weird for saying it as much as we do, but yeah, that's how do we even get on that?
I'm sure people, like when we're all at the gym and stuff, and I'm like, hey, bye,
Love
love
you.
you. They're probably like, why is she saying that to them?
What are, a couple of things that you feel like you want to be more intentional about going forward?
For me, I was just talking to Jason about this the other day. I was like, remember when Brixton was little and we're like, I cannot wait until he's walking, and then we couldn't wait till he was talking, and I feel like I'm kind of back in that phase right now. I just feel Jet's a very happy baby, but he's hard in the sense that I feel like there's a big question mark with him. I don't know why he's throwing up so much. I don't know what's going on with his skin. And I just keep finding myself feeling like I can't wait until he grows out of this. I can't wait until he gets older and he, sleeps a little bit better. And then I'm like, I know when I finally get to that point, I'll be grateful that we know what's going on with him, but I will miss him being little so bad.
Yeah.
And I always remind myself, like, I just need to appreciate the time I'm in right now, even though it's so hard, but I will miss it. And even though some days I'm like a complete zombie, I'm like, how am I even alive today? We got 2 hours of sleep. I haven't eaten. I feel like shit. All I've had is coffee. But I know that there's going to be a time when I wish I could go back to that.
Yeah.
And I think I just need to remember that sometimes. And I also feel like remembering that there are so many people out there who just want to be a mom and they don't get to have that. So even just realizing how big of a privilege it is just to be a mom to kids.
Yeah. I think we're all kind of guilty of that. It's just like, oh, well, I can't wait till this happens and I can't wait till this happens, instead of just like embracing where
Being
you're
in
at.
the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think it all goes back to that because I was going to say, even being intentional about, the use of your phone with social media and stuff. I feel like you can get so stuck on scrolling sometimes. And then you're like,
You don't even know it. Yeah.
shit, an hour's gone by and I've literally done nothing but looked at people that I don't even know who they are.
So, yeah.
Like
So true.
how ridiculous is that when you think about that,
Agreed.
But that's one thing, I really want to be intentional about the phone in general and getting stuck there, and also just health stuff. And, I had my flare ups with my health where, I was stuck in between them trying to figure out what they needed to do to get me where I needed to be. And I wasn't able to go to the gym for, the last 3 months, I've probably been a handful of times, maybe two
Yeah.
handfuls. And that's something that we do every day, so starting Sunday, I got to go back, and even this morning, like, I do not like waking up at 4:45 a.m. I despise it, hate it. But when we came home, I was so grateful that I felt good enough to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And you know what? My issues aren't as bad as some other people's. So I'm grateful for what I have and the fact that I can go work out, and listen to my body and be in tune with it. And you just don't ever want to take your health for granted either, because you never know.
Because you do, and then you end up feeling crappy and you're like, why didn't I appreciate it? It's kind of like when you're sick, and you're like, oh, God, if you could just make me feel better, I'll appreciate it so much more.
I know. The other day I was literally saying a prayer. I was like, please, God, let my children sleep past 5 o'clock in the morning. Let Brixton stay in his bed and let Jet only wake up 2 times. Please, please, please. They slept like shit.
Oh, man.
Maybe you need to talk to God more. It
But
didn't make it.
they're good kids, so crazy, but good.
More intentional about starting my day off with gratitude. Just the way that I start out my day,
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the way you start your morning
Changes
changes
everything.
your whole entire day.
Changes
Changes your
everything.
whole entire day.
Totally.
Agreed.
Yeah, I was telling her at what time did I talk to you? And I'm like, I've eaten twice today.
It was like 12:30.
I've taken all my supplements. I
Wow.
did my morning ritual stuff. Like,
Hey.
Speaking of, I need to take my hair, skin, and nail pills. I forgot to take them this morning. I've been religious about those, and let me tell you, I know it has to be working because my leg hair grows back in 20 minutes.
Don't you hate that? It's so bad.
I'm like, okay, I know it's working for my head. It has to be, even though obviously it's hard to know when your hair's how long it. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's
yeah, you
hard to
confuse
see
me.
your hair grow when you've
Mhm.
only been taking the pills for. I've only been taking them for like 2.5 months. But like I said, my leg hairs grow back in 20 minutes, so I know it's working.
Well, let me tell you, when you start to get older, your hair doesn't grow as fast on your legs.
Well,
No. I remember telling
I
you when you were
can wait for that.
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing you can wait for.
Yeah, I remember
do.
telling you when you were here, I can't wait till it gets cold so I can stop shaving my legs every 5 minutes.
I'm the opposite. I have to shave my legs no matter the season because they get so damn itchy. Do you think that we wait until something bad happens to appreciate the good things?
Yes. Unfortunately.
It's true.
I don't think that's necessarily true for me. I feel like it makes you appreciate more.
Yeah.
It definitely, like you said, reflection,
Mhm.
anytime something bad does happen, then you tend to highly appreciate the good.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'm intentional about trying to, even Saturday or Friday, Adam called me and something big happened. And I was like, what do you want to do to celebrate? And he's
Aw.
like, I don't know. I just feel like that's just like and I'm like, no, this is a big deal. Like, you don't take the time to just celebrate those things where his goals and dreams are so big that until he hits that top, I don't even think he'll be happy when he hits the top because of
I
the
feel
type
like
of
that's exactly how
person
Chase
he
is.
is. Yes. But I'm like, this is really a big deal.
Yeah.
What do you want to do to celebrate it? And then it's like, well, what do you know? You did this. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny that you say that because the truck that Chasen now drives is something that he's wanted for like ever and ever. And when he got it, I told my dad about it because he's been so excited. I mean, he'll be excited to me about it, but it's not like he's over thrilled about it to other people. So
Yeah.
he was so excited about it. He would tell me every single day, it's in this city. Now it's in Las Vegas. It'll be here tomorrow. Like he gave me updates all along the way. And when my dad came into town, I was like, Dad, you got to go see Chasen's new truck. And he's like, oh, it's just a truck. And I was like, are you kidding me? You've been so excited about this freaking truck. And now you're going to act like it's just a truck when it's been something that you've wanted for so long and you've worked so hard for. I was like, be excited for yourself. It's okay to be excited.
Don.
I think we kind of talked about this, but in one of our other episodes, such simple things like filling your gas tank all the way up instead of only being able to put a few dollars in. I think it's something that we all do, sometimes weekly. We go get gas in our car. And I think that sometimes we forget how big of a luxury it actually is to fill up your gas tank all the way because there's so many times where I'll go to Smith's and you'll see someone put like $9 in their gas tank and it's a full grown person or an elderly person. And it just breaks your heart because you're like, either maybe that is just the cash that they have and they don't really need all the gas, but maybe that's all the money that they can afford to put in their vehicle. And they have to make that gas stretch for however long, and just being grateful for something like filling up your car.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on both ends. After Dad died, I was a stay-at-home mom. The twins were too. I had you and Chasen as well. 4 kids, stay-at-home mom. Now, what the hell do you do? And there was 3 months where I don't even know what they call it anymore, the little food stamp card that I used, and it was so embarrassing for me. I remember going like grocery shopping at like midnight because I was so
Yeah.
embarrassed by that.
Yeah.
But I look back at that all the time
Really.
because I'm actually grateful that I had to go through that. Because now, being on the other end of things, and the other day we were at the grocery store and we ran into a lady that Adam used to work with, and she was just saying how hard it's been. She hasn't been able to find a job, and she's a single mother, and she's like, I can't even pay rent, and as she was checking out, he ran up there and paid for her food, and I'm like, I remember being in that position for a few
Yeah.
months, and it's nice to be able to be on the other end.
I
But
appreciate
Yeah.
yes, it
I mean, we went through that same thing when my parents got divorced. I don't think either parent had enough money. And I think back and I'm like, especially now that I'm a parent, I can't imagine the stress of not knowing, like not having enough money to buy your kids food. I mean, we always had food on the table. Like, let me make that clear. They always provided for us. We always had a roof over our head. We always had food. But I know that they really struggled financially, both of them, at some points in their life when we were kids. And I just, as a parent now, I'm so grateful for going through those, because I think that's why I'm such a stickler with money. I think that going through, I mean, Caitlin obviously went through the same thing I went through as being the kid in that situation.
but did you ever know? Did you ever go without and know that?
No, never. I mean, I talk about it all the time. I'm like, holy cow, like we never would have known, because it doesn't matter. Like if it was a birthday, a holiday, a food, like I never would have known. I remember you telling me like growing up, oh, we would go grocery. And I do remember going grocery shopping like late at night with you before and saying, I was embarrassed, but I don't think any of us would have known back then.
I think the only reason that I even knew was because I remember going in the pantry to get something, a snack or whatever, and something in the pantry said Church of Jesus Christ. So it was from the church, and obviously you don't get food from the regular grocery store that says that on it. And so that's how I kind of knew. Never felt embarrassed, I guess I would say. It was never something that I was embarrassed about, but I was well aware of the fact that my parents didn't have like all this extra money. What are you done wasting time on? I'm done wasting time on people who make me feel less than or drain my energy.
Mm-hmm.
I think we hit a lot about that on our friendship podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that should be.
But not even people that were friends, just
People
I mean,
in general.
kind of. I keep burping. This Alani is like making me so burpy. I don't remember if we talked about that in our friendship one, but like, I mean, we've talked about it at some point on our podcast, even, people on social media or acquaintances of people or anything. Like, I just think that your life should be full of happiness and people that uplift you. And if there's people that are shitty in your life, bye.
What do you guys think about like holding grudges?
I don't
I don't know.
I'm really not the biggest grudge holder. Besides, I have held a grudge for some people. But I will say, I don't know that it's like holding hatred for that person, but they don't have, like, I would never allow them in my life, if that makes sense.
I don't feel like that's a
I
grudge.
don't hate you, but I don't want you following me on social media. I don't want you to be a part of my life. I don't want to see your name pop up on things. So I guess maybe that is a grudge, but also protecting my own peace.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like that's exactly what that is. But I also feel like holding grudges just gives your time and energy to people who don't deserve it.
Yeah.
I same thing. Like forgiveness, I feel like if somebody has done you dirty, done you wrong, you forgiving them
That's
is
for
more
you.
for you than them.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when you have those yucky feelings, you're giving power to that person,
Mm-hmm.
and why? For
Right.
what?
Right.
Even I know in some of the notes as we were going through like different life things we have been through, and you called and you were like, one of the things I had written down, you were like, what the hell? This happened? Who did this? And then I told you,
Yeah, I didn't know that.
and you being like, you saying, how can you be around this person? How? And I was like, it took a while,
Yeah.
but then it was like, you know what?
Yeah, I had no idea about that. I was like, what?
I mean, there's definitely a wall where
Yeah.
For good
Again,
reason.
protecting your peace.
exactly.
Like,
You don't get that access to me, basically,
Yes. Yes. I will keep you at arm's length,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all it'll ever be.
Yeah.
But yeah, the forgiveness, I had to just think, okay, these people weren't in the right mindset, most likely, when this all happened
Still.
because of other things.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, forgiveness is more for you, I feel like, than the other person.
What's a thought pattern or insecurity that used to control you that you're ready to let go of? People pleasing?
Perfection.
Is that a thought pattern? Yeah, I think
are you
that
ready to let go of that? Girl, you
No.
won't even leave the house without makeup on.
Yeah, I was gone all day without makeup on.
Where'd you go?
Everywhere.
You went to the grocery store.
I've gone to the grocery store many times.
I
Maybe
was
not with
the-
my lashes off.
Okay, exactly.
Because I look like a mole rat.
No, you
Do
don't.
you know what's crazy though? I until I married Luis, I don't think, even being married before, I ever went to sleep taking my makeup off.
Kate. Didn't feel beautiful without it, or because of the
No, I
person you
didn't.
were.
I mean,
That
I was just so insecure. I don't know. I never very seldomly wore my hair in a ponytail or my natural hair. I don't know why that took me so long to.
I think I was when I was in high school, I remember wearing makeup and stuff to school. I feel like it wasn't until me and Chasen started dating and I felt more comfortable with myself. And I mean, you guys know I don't wear makeup more often than not.
The other day we were in the truck and we had gone somewhere, I can't even remember where, and Adam's like, are you going to go in with me? And I said, do you see this? My whole body. Actually, I have his flip-flops on that are like this much
No,
too big for
huge.
me.
It's huge, yeah.
No bra, t-shirt, baggy, I was a hot mess. I looked like a hot mess. And he was like, babe, I never look at you and think you ever look bad, which he really is like that.
Yeah.
Because you don't ever look bad.
No,
Well,
you
I
don't.
know. No, I don't know that.
She's all, I know.
Not what I meant to say. I mean, he loves when I'm just me.
And then that makes you just feel, more confident just being you.
I think that's part of the reason why I go in public so often looking like a rat is because
You don't ever look like a rat either.
Girl, yes, I do.
Girl, you do
And
not.
sometimes I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm just like, hopefully I don't run into anyone I know. But I
Right.
feel like it's because Chasen has given me that security. I mean, I'm not there to impress anybody, and I know he loves me. So, looking back at your hardest times, what perspectives did you gain?
I think the hard times, that's where the most growth comes from, being in the thick of it. that's where you grow the most, being uncomfortable. And I think it teaches you like so much resilience. It teaches you so much about yourself that you're like, geez, I didn't know I had this in me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that's where really where you grow. You find
Well,
out
when
what you
you're
really,
comfortable, you're usually not growing.
yeah.
Your growth comes during uncomfortable times, usually. So,
I don't know if this is like my hardest time, but I think money doesn't buy happiness to an extent. Obviously, money, brings great things that you can buy and might make your life fun. But looking back, like at my childhood and stuff, some of the greatest memories I have ever had with my mom or my dad were things that cost zero money. And I
Mm.
think remembering that, like, taking your kids to the park, that is free, and that might be one of their greatest memories is, oh, when I used to go to the park every Friday with my mom or whatever it may be. Like,
Yeah.
just remembering that some of the greatest moments in your life won't have to cost any money.
I remember growing up, we had a very wealthy uncle. I mean, he's still very wealthy,
Mhm.
and his kids always had brand new, super, super nice vehicles all the time and the best of everything, And I remember when you were younger, thinking, gosh, I would like that, being envious of that.
Yeah.
And then you hit an age and you're like, good Lord, I am so grateful that I had the parents that I had,
Yeah.
I am grateful that my life was this way and not this way. I mean, we
Right.
didn't ever go without anything, but they definitely always had the best of the best, and they're hot messes. The kids are both have struggled entire adulthood life with addiction and alcoholism, and
Yeah.
it doesn't buy happiness. Yes, it's nice to have,
Mhm.
but no.
But I think even the people, like, there's so many people that do go without a lot of things. Even people like you'll see on social media, they'll talk about their childhood, which, by the way, is heartbreaking to know how many people lived in such horrible conditions or were abused or this, that, and the other. And they're like, I'm so grateful that I had to grow up that way because it truly does shape you into the person that you are today. And it's crazy that some of the people that go through the most awful, horrific things come out of those and are like, I'm grateful for that. Like, I'm grateful that I didn't have to go through that. It's just so sad.
Quality time with your family and your kids does more than money ever will. We've talked about before, like just sitting in the living room watching The Bachelor or, anything all together,
Mm-hmm.
watching movies in your bed. Like just that quality time means the absolute most.
Talking to one of your cousins today, and we were talking about money actually, and her husband loves to buy things, but it's things for the family,
Mhm.
and I was just telling her, I'm like, because she said, I think he gets embarrassed at the house we live in, not the house we live in, but where it is. And the car that she drives, and she's like, I don't want a new car. My kids just trash it anyway. Like, I don't want a new car at this point in my life. But they are so good about making memories with their kids,
They
Yeah.
are.
whether they're camping or riding motorcycles or out at the lake, or they're always doing something with their kids. And I said, that's what your kids are going to remember. You having a nice car, they're not going to remember that.
No.
All these memories that you're making with them, they're going to remember that. With October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and us hitting on that a couple of times during this month, it makes me think, Caitlin has some autoimmune crap too, and she is horrible about taking care of herself or making a damn appointment or
Who do you
whatever it
think
may
she
be.
gets that from?
Mhm.
It's partly stubbornness, which was passed down from my mother.
Oh, from her, not you.
I mean, she gave it to me and then I gave it to
Yeah,
you.
but you do the same thing. You're always like, oh, did you call and schedule this for Brecklin? Or, oh, did you call and
Yeah,
schedule
'cause I
this
love
for
you guys.
Jetty? And then I'm like, oh, did you call your doctor? No.
I see a doctor multiple times in 3 months. I get my blood drawn
Yeah,
every 3 months.
Yeah, but if something is happening out of the normal and
I just
concerning,
know it's a challenge.
What was that?
Love it.
Twitch.
Earth.
Broken doll.
I like that one.
No, but when's the last time you went to a doctor? You're a doctor.
Me?
Doctor you should be going to.
I don't have a doctor.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm
So
perfectly
why is it that we always put ourselves last when it comes to
It's
these kinds of
just
things?
a mother thing. Like, it's like if everybody else is taken care of, I'm good to go. Take care of yourself, you're not going to be around.
Exactly. How many times have you heard me say that?
I feel great.
Sorry we got a little bit squirrely on this episode. We were really excited and just wanted to have a fun conversation with each other.
I don't even know if we hit
nice.
like our topic actually.
That's
I
okay.
did.
We had fun. And we talked about things that matter. And we hope that this episode helps you step into November with gratitude, courage, and intention. And just be grateful for the season of life that you're in.
For sure. So this week's tip, we'll close out October. Just book a screening. Get a checkup. Remember to do your monthly self-breast exams. It's not that hard. Get it done. Yeah, big or small. Let's save them all. Men, that goes for you too.
Yeah.
Text someone. And while you're at it, text someone you love. Tell them that you love them. Or better yet, pick up the phone and say, I love you.
And if your parents live in town, go visit them. Or your grandparents.
Yeah.
Grandparents get lonely.
It's my tip of the week, not yours.
I was
You
telling
always get tip of the week.
Yeah, because I'm the tipper. I like the tip.
Thanks for hanging out with us on today's episode of She Who Thrives. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a friend. We'll see you next week with a brand new episode on Wednesday. Until then, remember, no matter what you're doing in life, do it to the best of your ability and always strive to thrive.